We talk a lot on this channel about Patrick Mahomes. That's obvious, and it's obvious why. We talk a lot about Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and Hitstick Nick Bolton, the greatest nickname that I have given in the 5 years that I have been doing this. But one person who does not get enough recognition for the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty, which itself does not get enough recognition, is the head coach, Andy Reid, and really the entire coaching staff. The offensive ranks of this coaching staff have been torn apart once in a while. The defensive ranks of the coaching staff may, in fact, be torn apart this offseason, but head coach Andy Reid has been here during this entire run and going all the way back to 2013. He has been an NFL head coach since there were 31 NFL teams. So it is nice to see an article like the one from Bucky Brooks, and we're going to get into this a little bit, and then I've got some thoughts on Andy Reid at the end. Ranking the NFL's top 5 coaching staffs right now, Chiefs, Vikings, Lions employ brilliant football minds from NFL.com by Bucky Brooks. Number 1 of those top 5, Kansas City Chiefs. No surprise here. When you're vying for a three-peat and you've won 3 Super Bowls in the past 5 seasons, you're probably doing something right. The Chiefs have climbed to the top rung of the NFL ladder with a collection of coaches who are masterful football minds. Andy Reid is the greatest coach in the game today with an innovative playbook that transforms quarterbacks into stars. Dating back to his days in Philadelphia, the coaching veteran has routinely crafted game plans and call sheets that enable his QB1s to maximize their abilities while minimizing the potential damage of their shortcomings. Though he is currently coaching a generational talent in Patrick Mahomes, Reid has been able to tweak his scheme to help the quarterback win with or without a stellar supporting cast. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo and special teams coordinator Dave Toub are elite unit leaders who understand how to get the most out of their personnel with clever tactics. Spagnuolo is a blitzing specialist with an encyclopedia of exotic pressures that keep quarterbacks guessing within the pocket. Considering how Toub challenges opponents with innovative and aggressive kicking game schemes, it is not a coincidence the Chiefs have won 11 one-score games this season, allowing them to snag the number 1 seed in their pursuit of an unprecedented feat, 3 straight Super Bowl titles. Even insipid pieces of toilet paper like the Kansas City Star recognize the Kansas City Chiefs and their greatness. Now they do. And write article. Well, let's just get into it. This is a part of an article from the Kansas City Star because the Kansas City Star still will not let you read entire articles on their website without a membership, and no one is paying for that. Why Chiefs Andy Reid changed Kansas City's practice routine this week ahead of NFL playoffs, from Kansas City Star by Jesse Newell. Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid says he ramped up his team's practice Friday in preparations for next week's NFL playoffs. Specifically, Reid did something that rarely happens during the regular season. He had his number 1 offense go up against his number 1 defense. These are all competitive guys, but put the ones out there against each other, they really get competitive. Reid said Friday that's kind of a fun thing to be a part of. It's not just a fun thing to be a part of. The Kansas City Chiefs did not have a game this week. The Kansas City Chiefs are able in their way to limit the exposure to injury in practice, but it's a contact sport, so putting the ones against the ones in a controlled environment allows the highest level of competition that you can get without actual thudding going on. This is a tactic, right? So there's the mission, there's the strategy, there's the tactic. Those are kind of the 3 levels of things. The mission is the Super Bowl. The strategy is on offense, we're going to be a work your way down the field type offense. On defense, we're going to go after the quarterback. That's the strategy. The tactic is, well, on offense, we really like what D-Hop brings on first down. We really like what Kareem Hunt can do in third and short. Those are tactics. We really like what Leo Chanel brings up the gut of the defense. That's a tactic. This ones-on-ones in the postseason, in practice, this is a tactic. It is a tactic to dig into your team's reserves of competitiveness, competitivity. And the Chiefs do not lack that. Chris Jones does not lack that. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Nick Bolton do not lack that. So to see these guys changing things up so late in the year really is another little tidbit of the reason why these Kansas City Chiefs are so good, have been so good, will be so good moving forward. But because we're here to talk about not just the Kansas City Chiefs, but Andy Reid, I pulled up his career here. Now, in his first season, 1999, he had a record of 5-11. He would not have a sub-11 win season again until 2005 when he went 6-10. It was another several years, nearly a decade, before he went under 500 again, which ended up being his final season in Philadelphia. So from 1999 to 2012, Philadelphia knew losing only 3 times and decided to move on from Andy Reid. Now, they were only NFC champions the one time. He did not have the extended success in Philadelphia that he has had in Kansas City. Not quite. But if you look down here, 26 years of coaching, 14 years in Philadelphia, 12 years in Kansas City. The big man has almost coached the Kansas City Chiefs as long as he coached the Philadelphia Eagles, the franchise for whom he was so synonymous. The franchise that he really took and made into something special. Now, in his time in Kansas City, we all know what he's done. But I have highlighted there those 3 Super Bowl champion seasons. The reason that this needs to be talked about is that there's a pedigree of coach in the NFL. How many quarterbacks in the NFL have won Super Bowls? How many quarterbacks in the NFL right now have won multiple Super Bowls? Basically, since Bill Belichick retired, since Tom Brady retired, well, I guess Belichick didn't technically retire, but since those two are out of the league, guys, it is a very select company. It is a very small group of quarterbacks, a very small group of coaches. And the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have, I believe, the only pairing in the NFL of multi-time Super Bowl winning coach with multi-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's not just a number. Just like we saw last season, just like we saw the season before, getting into the playoffs means something just a little bit different. Patrick Mahomes does not run particularly often during the regular season. In the postseason, he's going to make you count for him because he has to have that win. He has to have every inch on the field to get that win. The Kansas City Chiefs have not been backed into a corner during the regular season for a very, very long time. Not really. Not in any measurable way. And so they have not had to utilize all of the tricks in their book. Most of these other teams have spent so many of the tricks in their book, so many of the little things that they can count on to win along the way. They have put that on film already this season. And so whoever plays them can be prepared for it. The Chiefs have not had to put all of that exotic stuff on film. When was the last thing truly innovative that you saw Xavier Worthy do? You don't think Andy Reid has some things cooked up for the speedy young wide receiver? If you think that way, I contend that you're wrong. You don't think that Andy Reid has some things that he can dream up for Nuke Hopkins, a wide receiver the likes of which he has not had during his time in Kansas City? Those back shoulder stop fades on the sideline, that toe-tapping catch that Nuke Hopkins made just a couple weeks ago. You don't think there's all sorts of those little dilly-dallies in the playbook for situations here and there? I think probably there are. The Chiefs have only had to pull the trigger on them a couple times because someone like Andy Reid, someone with a record of 420 or 273 and 146 through 420 games, someone with a 651 winning percentage on his career, does not have to do that all that often. He's going to find his way into the playoffs. He and Patrick Mahomes will find their way into the playoffs. And that's when the winning gets important. That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.